The great Rann of Kutch, famous for its flamingo populations, is a salt marsh located in the northern part of Kutch district in Gujarat state in northwest India. It is about 7,500 square kilometers in size and is reputed to be one of the largest salt deserts in the world. The area was part of the delta of the Indus River until an earthquake in 1819 shifted the course of its branch, the Kori River, isolating the Rann of Kutch from its delta. The Indo-Pakistan border crosses the northern and western sides of the Rann, and access is very restricted. Most of the birds one can see here are more easily seen in the little Rann of Kutch, further east, closer to Ahmedabad, which is easier to enter. Birding in the Great Rann area is done mostly in the Bani grasslands, a belt of grassland surrounding the Rann from the south, in Chari-Dhand, a large seasonal wetland in West Bani, and in the Thorn forest in the hills south of Bani. The Nalia grasslands, with their critically endangered great Indian bustards, are an extension for a birding tour of the Great Rann of Kutch in the south of Kutch district. There are many places to stay in the area, but as for now, only 3 are specialized in birding tours. Kutch Wilderness Camp is situated on the bank of Rudramata Lake, 12 kilometers north of Bhuj, the district headquarters of Kutch district. It is a top-end resort, and the Malik family, who also own the Rann Riders Resort near the Little Rann of Kutch, runs it. The cottages are set on an elevation looking out over the huge water body of the Rudramata Lake. The rooms are large, modern and comfortable. The swimming pool is situated near the lake shore. The roof of the cottages is made of straw, and house sparrows are nesting in it. Pavan, the naturalist of the resort, is monitoring a small wetland near the Rudramata Dam, about 1 kilometer away. Since it is a small wetland, it is easier to watch and photograph birds here than in other wetlands like Chari-Dhand. Pavan has recorded a number of interesting rare birds like great bittern, jack snipe and watercock. The Bani grasslands form a belt of arid grassland ecosystem on the outer southern edge of the marshy salt flats of the Great Rann of Kutch. They are known for their rich wildlife and biodiversity, and are spread across an area of over 3,800 square kilometers. They are legally protected, with a legal status as a protected or reserve forest, but there is very little protection visible on the ground. The Bani grasslands are under pressure due to man-made factors, including overgrazing, dams that stop the flow of rainwater from the hills, and an invasion by Prosopis juliflora, an exotic thorny tree native to North America. These factors are causing droughts and salinity ingress. The government of India decided recently to establish wind farms to produce electricity, and windmills are mushrooming everywhere in Kutch district. This may have little effect on the salinity of the ground, but it is a great threat to the thousands of common cranes that winter in the area, to raptors, and especially to the dwindling population of great Indian bustards in Nalia grasslands. The threat comes not only from the windmills themselves, but also from the high-voltage power lines. The Bani is home to 22 pastoralist communities, the Maldaris, spread across 48 settlements. Livestock is the mainstay of the inhabitants of Bani, constituting the major bulk of their assets. Despite tough survival conditions, Bani buffaloes are the most productive cattle in India, and were recently recognized by the National Bureau of Animal Genetic Resources as the 11th distinct breed of the nation. During princely rule, the Maharao of Kutch declared Bani as a rakal, or reserve grassland, where only dairy cattle were allowed to graze. The grazing regulations slowly disappeared after independence, and several different species of livestock from other parts of the state and neighbouring states gained free entry into the area, resulting in large-scale overgrazing. In the early 1960s, the Gujarat Forest Department planted Prosopis juliflora in an area of 315 square kilometres, with a stated objective of minimising the perceived threats of salinity ingress and desertification. It is said that seeds were spread over the area from flying helicopters. Over the past 50 years, Prosopis has spread and now covers nearly half of the Bani. This expansion is thought to have taken place at the expense of palatable and perennial grass species. Birds, however, seem to favour the cover these trees give. Many of the special species of birds recorded in this area are recorded in, on, or under Prosopis juliflora. The increase in Prosopis has been accompanied by a corresponding shift in livestock holdings from an animal population formerly dominated by the Kankej cow to one now dominated by Bani buffalo. In addition to the introduction of Prosopis, the Bani grassland has undergone other changes in the last decades. In the 1960s, dams were built across rivers flowing into the Bani, resulting in dramatically reduced flash flooding of the Bani and a consequent increase in saline ingress from the neighbouring Arabian Sea. About 50% of the land is now highly saline, an undocumented but likely factor in shaping the landscape's biophysical characteristics. In spite of all these threats and difficulties, Bani grasslands attract a variety of interesting birds. The critically endangered sociable lapwing winters here in small numbers. This bird has suffered a massive population crash since the beginning of the unrest in the Arab world, where most of its wintering grounds are situated. The Queen's bustard depends totally on open grasslands for its survival. This bird is hunted in neighbouring Pakistan by rich Arabs. Stolichka's bushchat is a restricted area species endemic to Rajasthan and Gujarat and probably adjoining areas in Pakistan. Asian desert warbler breeds in the deserts of Central Asia and winters in Bani. It is fairly common near small shrubs. Sykes's nightjar is often seen at night sitting on the dirt roads. Cream-coloured corsa has a huge distribution area, and the border of India and Pakistan is the most easterly part of its distribution. Bani is also good for raptors. Reptiles and rodents are numerous in the grassland and desert habitat. Nearly all the species of raptors recorded in northwest India are present here. In the morning they can be seen perching on trees and later in the day soaring, searching for prey. Jugal Tiwari was working for the Bombay Natural History Society in Kutch district between 1990 and 1995. And in 2005 he established Seto homestay in Motivirani village, near Nakatrana, 53 kilometres west of Bhuj. He was pioneering bird tours in Kutch, and it is to his credit that Kutch district is one of the top birding destinations in India. Through the Seto Trust, he is involved in many initiatives to support local communities and involve them with nature conservation. The homestay has 8 AC rooms and serves home-cooked vegetarian food cooked by a local Kutchi family. Its power supply is from solar panels and it has a water harvesting system. The bird feeders in the courtyard are always busy with local passerines. Jugal and his assistant Veer arrange birding safaris all over Kutch, but they are mainly concentrating on Bani grasslands with Chari-Dhand wetland and the Thorn forest in the adjoining hills, all sites that are within an hour's drive from the homestay. The main bird that brings birders to Kutch is the grey hippocoleus. This bird is nearly endemic to the Arab world, and West Gujarat is the easternmost boundary of its distribution. Fula village on the edge of Bani is the only known site where this bird winters every year in small numbers. It feeds on the fruits of Salvadora persica, a tree native to the Middle East and Africa. The bird times its arrival at Fula with the ripening of the fruits. Muhammad is a local guide who was trained by Jugal Tiwari. He knows the whereabouts of the birds and protects them and the Salvadora trees they are dependent upon. Bani grasslands start right after Fula village. The new road that is now under construction from Fula to Hajipir passes next to Kirodungar, an extinct volcano that can be seen clearly from everywhere in West Bani. The area around the hill is full of fossils, and it is a good spot for red-tailed wheatear. Formerly considered a subspecies of the Kurdish wheatear, it is now often granted separate species status. It is important to start your visit to Bani early in the morning because driving on the dirt roads creates huge dust clouds that very quickly cover everything. Early in the morning, dew wets the ground, and it takes some time before the dust begins to rise. From Fula village, follow the road that leads to a large concrete watchtower. Since the area is flat, this tower can be seen from very far off. On the way, you will probably encounter small groups of common cranes. The birds feed on the seeds of the different grasses, and Bani is probably their most important wintering ground in India. They arrive here in their thousands in October and November from their breeding grounds in Siberia. The new concrete watchtower has replaced an old metal one that rusted away, and it is the only functional watchtower in Chari-Dhand. There is another metal watchtower further away, but it has also rusted away. Chari means salty, and Dhand means a large, shallow pond of rainwater. Chari-Dhand is the largest of Kutch's almost 36 dhands. It is spread over an area of 80 square kilometers, lying between the Bani grasslands and Dinodar Hill. It receives its water from the Chari River, which has its catchment in the hills around Nakatrana. Gujarat State Forest Department accorded it the legal status of a wetland conservation reserve in 2008, after 20 years lobbying by local conservationists. The Dhands of Bani are the home of thousands of waterfowl that flock here in winter. Ducks, cormorants, pelicans and flamingos can be seen in large numbers from the watchtower in Chari-Dhand. This area is also very good for raptors, like western marsh harrier and greater spotted eagle. The view from the watchtower is spectacular, especially for those who are lucky enough to watch the sunset over Kirodungar Hill. Autumn migration is very rewarding in Kutch. From late August to early October, in years with reasonable amounts of rain, the land is still covered with green grass, water bodies are still full, and trees are in blossom. This is the time of year when you can see migrating birds for which West Gujarat is the most easterly part of their distribution, like red-backed shrike, rufous-tailed scrub robin, and spotted flycatcher. These birds may be more common further west and are of little interest for foreign birders, but may be very high on the Indian birders' wish list. Thorn forest covers the hills of Kutch district south of Bani. The natural vegetation was once deciduous forest. This region has been degraded through agriculture, grazing, and the extraction of timber, so it has currently changed into a dry deciduous forest with a scanty covering of thorny scrub, dominated by trees up to 10 meters in height, such as Acacia nilotica, Acacia senegala, and Capparis decidua. Prosopis juliflora, the invading tree from North America that covers half of the Bani grasslands, has also rooted here, and it is now the dominant tree in the forests of Kutch. Monsoon will be the right time to visit here for tree lovers, as the trees will be in blossom. Clearing land for agriculture has resulted in the forest being divided into many patches, and there is no continuous large forest left in Kutch. The white-naped tit is the main bird that attracts birdwatchers to the thorn forests of Kutch. This bird is endemic only to Rajasthan and Gujarat. There are historical records from South India, but the population there is extremely rare. These birds are believed to live in very low densities in small numbers. They are shy and are best detected by their call. The breeding season is from May to August. It is said to be dependent on old woodpeckers' nest holes, especially those made by yellow-crowned woodpecker, which are used for nesting and roosting. This species is said to have undergone a rapid population decline in the recent past. The habitat of dense acacia scrub is severely degraded and fragmented in western India, especially due to the collection of old branches with potential nest holes for firewood. The other bird that brings birders here is Marshall's or white-tailed Iora. This bird is endemic to central and southern India with a small population in Sri Lanka. It differs from common Iora by having extensive white in its mainly black tail, with central feathers varying from black with a white tip to largely white or to greyish white with irregular black bases. Epicenter homestay near Lodai village earned its name from being 1 kilometre from the epicenter of the devastating earthquake that hit Kutch in 2001. It is located on a hill close to Kashvati Dam and has a superb view over the village and its surroundings. Currently, there are 3 rooms with attached bathroom and a small dining place. Bharat Kapti and his family run the homestay. Bharat was trained by Jugal Tiwari as part of Jugal's efforts to spread awareness of nature conservation among locals. Bharat is now a leading bird guide for people who want to explore East Bani. East Bani is the part of Bani grasslands that borders the Great Rann of Kutch. It is more arid, saline and remote than West Bani, with very few people and domestic animals trying to live there. Driving here in the endless dusty plains, one can really get the feeling of being in the wilderness. Flocks of spotted sandgrouse come to feed in this part of Bani. Like other birds in Kutch, this is the most easterly part of its distribution. Greater hoopoo lark is another such bird. It is rarely seen, only in East Bunny and further north into Rajasthan in areas near the border with Pakistan. A visit to Nalia grasslands is considered as an extension to a tour of the Great Rann of Kutch. It is about 2 hours and 15 minutes drive southwest of Bhuj, near Jakau village in Abdasa Taluka. Part of the grassland is designated as a Great Indian Bustard Sanctuary. This area is flat with different kinds of grasses to the grass of Bunny, and it seems to be favoured by these birds. There is a watchtower in the sanctuary with a good view over the grasslands, from where we managed to see 2 female Indian bustards. It looks as if the forest department is doing its best to protect the bustards. The area is fenced and there is a ditch dug around parts of it. The forest department avoided planting trees here as they did in other parts of India where the birds have gone extinct. However, even with all these efforts, the bird is in decline. It is said that currently there is only 1 male Indian bustard left in Nalia grasslands, and the species is on the brink of extinction here. When it does go, the only place left for this bird is the Desert National Park in Rajasthan, where its future does not look much better than here. Nalia grasslands are good for other birds too. Many harriers can be seen flying low above the grass, and they dive into it trying to catch their prey. Most are female or juvenile Montagues or pallid harriers. The rare lesser florican breeds in this grassland and adjoining farmland, and the males can be seen jumping from the grass in their mating display. The jump lasts 2 or 3 seconds, and the time between each jump is about 45 seconds. Like the Indian bustards, this bird has become critically endangered as well, and without protection of its grassland habitat, it will disappear too.